goals, dreams and goals, dreams and goals. Get results.
All right, what's going on, everyone? We're here at the DG show with our first ever live audience, unfortunately. So if you hear them, don't be alarmed. I am here with the great viral Beck lover. I mean, you were in the World Trade Center when it happened. You've been through some tragedy. First generation American, right?
First generation, born in Texas.
Born in Texas, really?
But grew up in the New York City area.
Okay, I was born in New York and grew up in Texas.
So
Totally kidding, but I was born in Texas. But
well, there's a lot of people down here that were born in New York and came to Texas, and I'm the other way.
So how'd you end up in New York?
The South never left my heart.
I can tell.
It took me 20 years to figure out. Every time I'd visit here, I was like, man, everyone's so nice. They keep telling me, bless your heart. I didn't realize you guys were telling me to go fuck myself.
Yeah, that's kind of a similar thing.
It's a nice way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to curse on this show?
Fuck no.
Okay, fuck.
Yes. We actually cuss a lot. So how long have you been gone from Texas?
We left Texas when I was 5. My mom was from the Bronx, and my dad, when he first came to the U.S., he started out in Houston. So my mom moved with him when they got married, and I guess that Houston air, just heavy, man, very humid, and he had asthma, and from what I understand, that's why we moved back to New York.
So you were born in Houston.
So I don't have a y'all, it's a yo.
Me either.
But I've been undercover in the North for a while, because the way things are looking, who knows what's going to happen to this country soon. And I'm going to say I'll probably be in the South if shit hits the fan.
Do you think it's going to hit the fan?
If I was a betting man, the way this country is going, I would say America is like Yugoslavia right before it went to hell.
Really? How long do you think it's going to take?
I think it could happen at any. It almost happened last week in Pennsylvania, bro.
Yeah.
All you need, America is set, primed, and galvanized. It is a powder keg with 2 very distinct sides. That all it's going to take is one major event, and Humpty Dumpty's falling off that wall, brother, and nothing's putting it back.
We were an inch away from that happening.
On my podcast, I had 2 attendees that were at that rally in Butler, where the last president, unless something very strange happens, probably the future president of the United States of America, Trump. They were at that rally, and they were to the right of him, so not the side that he was, they say, the hand of God, where the bullet literally went, right? Like perfect timing.
Yeah.
Made him like this...
How crazy!
Superhuman now. If you want to talk about momentum, I don't think there's anything that can stop this guy from winning, unless maybe we have to stay home again and vote. But let's not trigger the algorithm too much. But in any event, they were to the right of him, so they had the perfect vantage point of the men that were observing with massive binoculars. And I had this footage out before the mainstream media, which is amazing, because I'm not like the biggest podcast in the world, but I'm out there. I'm top 2%. And they were right. And they said 16 minutes. He was giving me timestamps off his cell phone. So if some of you want to see some other footage you've never seen, you can go to the Beck Lover podcast and pull up that episode about people that were at the rally in Pennsylvania. And they said 16 minutes, right? The next day, the media said 20 minutes, right? So that's not bad for guys that were in the crowd 100 feet away.
Yeah.
They were pretty spot on. So very fishy, all of that 200. And I, as much as I can't stand her, AOC, I thought she did a good job asking questions that day to Cheatley, the lady that stepped down from the SS, not the SS in Germany, the Secret Service here in the U.S.
Same thing.
And can I cross my leg? Does it mess
Do
up
whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. You're in the South.
So she, you gotta love it down here, man.
Hey,
Can I be honest with you? Like, I'm here with my girl.
Please do.
Shout out Jules. I'm here with my girl, and we've noticed. I travel a lot, brother. I did over 130 nights last year alone in travel.
That's crazy.
And I just feel it, and especially during the last 4 years when everything closed down. When we had that illness, because I avoid certain words because you get penalized if you don't. And I don't know what's going to happen to this episode, so I got to speak in code to those of you that know what the fuck I'm talking about. And when the whole world closed down, when this madness really of the world that we live in, right, front and center, we could see what's happening. We can see corruption right in front of our eyes. It's undeniable. I don't care what side of the aisle you are, because I'm on neither side. Okay, I'm for the Constitution of the United States of America, protecting those inalienable rights that Thousands and thousands of Americans have given their life since the Revolutionary War. Yes, we have a dark history. Every country has some darkness, but we can keep looking backwards and stay stuck there forever and use it as an excuse. Or we can save what's left of this nation and move forward because, you know, as someone that's first generation American whose family suffered during communism in Albania, one of the darkest chapters in communist history, to see this country even inching anywhere near that type of system is alarming. And what I want fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth generation Americans to know is that if anyone's going to save this nation, it's those that are awake and those that have come from the corners of darkness that understand what it looks like on the other side of the world. Because so many people are so quick to damn this country. I understand some of you were born in unfortunate circumstances. You've experienced racism, and I don't deny any of it. I am a champion against racism. When people ask me, who's your hero? My hero is Malcolm X. Literally my first, you say, who's your first hero? Like, as far as American history is concerned, that's my guy. I've been to his mosque in Harlem. I've prayed with the brothers there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Because this is a man who knew he was going to give his life for what he believed in. And he was fighting against injustice and something that was evil in American history at that time, right? To judge another human being based on their color.
Do you see, okay, you're first generation American, right?
Correct.
I feel like now more immigrants, more first generation Americans, even second,
Are
care
more
more about
American.
American than
That's
Americans
what I was
are
trying.
American.
Dustin, that's exactly what I was trying to say with this whole point. If anyone's going to save this country, except for the ones that are coming here to not be American, what does that mean? To come here and just take from the system.
Yeah.
Most immigrant groups that came to America, they contributed to this melting pot that has given us this amazing nation that we live in today. And a lot of them they're going to treat well, right? From African Americans, they were brought here by force. The Irish were treated like complete shit. That's a fact. The Italians went through hell. The Albanians were kind of lucky because the Italians kind of took the brunt of that.
Yeah, and then you open pizza
And
places,
then we all
put the
look,
Italian
we
flag
look
on there,
Italian
like,
and shit.
hey,
like,
we're here.
You know, we look Italian, but, you know, and as they moved up, we bought their businesses and, you know, they did help us. You know, no Albanian can deny that Italians and Albanians, deep down inside, we got a really good friendship. There's love there. There's a lot of shared history there. People don't know, for example, and many Albanians have come to this conclusion, like Calabria, right? And the Albanian language, the word castle means, the ancient word for castle is kalaya, right? It means castle. Arborea is the ancient word for Albania. So when the Ottoman Empire invaded Europe, the Albanians literally saved Western Europe, and we helped save Italy. And sometimes people don't know this history, but if you're Italian, go to Piramidi in Rome. There's a glass pyramid there. I was renting a car there at the time. It was my first trip to Rome. I never drove in my life. Stick shift, right? That's not the place to learn how to drive stick shift.
How'd that go?
Okay, anyone that's been amazing, bro. I didn't die. I can't believe it. It was like the most.
Did you hit
exhilarating-
anything?
brother? Those streets are so narrow. Now, I think only a New Yorker could pull that shit off without knowing how to even drive stick. I mean, I got lost like 3 hours away from Rome. This is before navigation. You couldn't go, like, it was, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing. I'll never forget that trip. Like,
How do you end up 3 hours away?
because I don't speak Italian. I don't know why I am. It's the
just
middle of the
go
night and
that
I'm
way.
driving a Daewoo. And it was a big ass car. Like, you don't want a big car in Rome. You want a moped in Rome. Make the story short, I see the statue of St. George Castrioti. He's the national hero of Albania, also known as Skenderbeg. I'm like, why is his monument here? I'm like, this guy looks like our national. And I go, and Tim, why does he have his own square in Rome? Italians. Why does our national hero, Skenderbeg, and you're married to an Albanian, so you know who I'm talking about.
Unfortunately, I am, yes.
Okay, yes, you are.
Yeah.
You wanted it, right?
Yeah, you did.
So,
and then you got it. And then you're like,
you got
fuck,
it now.
what the hell was I
So
thinking?
with us, I'm like, wow. And then I learned the history. I actually learned more about that history. I knew about, him fighting the Turks, but I didn't know the Italian side of the story. So once we were overrun, they were the most powerful empire in the world, right? For over 600-700 years, they were called the sick man of Europe as they collapsed. But they controlled from Albania all the way up to Russia, parts of Russia, and what's today the former Soviet Union. And I was like, well, what was the history here? And they're like, well, the Albanians with this guy held off the Turks long enough for Western Europe to get stronger and repel them. So the croissant, if I'm not mistaken, was made to celebrate when the Europeans were able to stop the Ottoman Empire. It was to symbolize the crescent moon,
Yeah.
right? Which is why it was shaped that way, if I'm not mistaken, in Vienna. That's where they were able to like stop them from over there. But we did guerrilla warfare. So for 50 years, the Albanians held off the most powerful empire in the world. And make the story short, St. George crossed over the Adriatic Sea with his soldiers and helped the Italians in some of their battles. And then when the Albanians got overrun by the Turks, after the death of our national hero, the Italians in kindness said, hey, you guys helped us. Whoever wants to stay, and live in freedom, come. They gave us land. So we didn't go there as conquerors. We went as friends. Getting back to Calabria, they ended up building a castle there because they were like, if the Turks come again, right? So that's literally where the name comes from. Calaya Arborea, the castle of the Albanians, or the fort of the Albanians. So if you're Calabres, you're Sicilian, there's a good chance you have some Albanian blood in you. I would love for you guys to do your DNA
we did.
test.
So I did. So we did. What was it? 2% or 3%? 3% Albanian.
Hi, the per hire.
I was 3%. I was like,
Gazuar.
Nobody believed me, and I pulled it out. I was like, she was like, that's why you're crazy. Like,
that's why you're buying those bigger boxes down there.
She was,
yeah.
She was there. In The Godfather, the guy in the white suit in the beginning is Albanian, right?
Doncic.
Isn't not the actor,
not,
but the actual guy that they're supposed to be playing. I think he's Albanian. I think that was the point.
I'm not sure, but all I know is it doesn't matter. Like, and this whole thing about who's stronger, who's crazy. I'm like, why are we proud about crime?
Because you're Albanian. Well, I mean,
it's just a
why
weird,
are we proud about crime?
It's just a weird phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, not just our cultures, like Albanian, Italian. Like, why are we glorifying this shit? There's nothing honorable about it. You know what's honorable? That's why I love the Bronx Tale. And a shout out to Lilo Brancato Jr., who you should have on your show. He's amazing. And yes, he has a tragic story, but his story's not over yet.
So it's funny, we chatted about doing it, and where we were going to do it is at the scene where they filmed the Bronx Tale to tell his story about what happened and how he's in recovery and doing his thing.
Listen, man.
It's cool.
Sometimes you go down a dark path, things happen, but like it's not the end of your story, right? That's how I got into podcasting, to inspire people to never give up no matter what you've been through in your life.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that does come from my Albanian ancestry, because when I look at the history of my people, right, and I do consider myself American very much, right? I don't want to get it twisted here. Like, I'm a proud American, born and raised here, and what this country did and provided for me and my family, and let alone helped our people in 1997 to 99 when we were in the middle of the Kosovo War. This country means everything to us, especially Albanian Americans.
I love that.
Like, I don't think people understand. The average American does not realize how much the Albanian nation loves this country. Like, brother, visit our country and literally streets are named after U.S. presidents, statues. Again, they don't know the politics. They don't know Democrat, Republic. The Albanians over there don't know anything about this stuff. They're just trying to say, hey, we don't forget our friends. Like, you guys helped us. And we're here for you. But what I don't understand is, why is America waiting to arm Kosovo? For those that don't know, Kosovo was a part of the former Yugoslavia, a very dark chapter in Balkan history. They first tried to just get their rights restored. They were not looking to succeed. This is a fact. This is very well documented on Google. You could pull it up on YouTube. There's demonstrations and protests going on from the 80s. They weren't asking to be independent. They just wanted their rights restored. Then the wars broke out in Yugoslavia in the early 90s. If we were people that wanted war and conflict, we would have jumped in when Bosnia did and Croatia did, and we didn't. We purposely were like, hey, we are a peaceful people. We don't want to fight. This is what's happening to us. We don't want to fight them because we know that we can't fight them anyway, even if we wanted to. We don't have tanks. They have tanks and jets, and we saw what they did with those tanks and jets to the Bosnians and to the Croatians, and it was just a horrible chapter. And I've always said this, and I say this again, even to my own people. Hatred is not the way. I was full of hatred my entire life towards anyone that was Serbian. That's a fact. But how could I not be when I lost 28 people that I loved, that I saw every summer? I spent the entire summer with them. They taught me how to speak Albanian because English was my first language, even though I sound like I'm off the boat. I'm not. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I'm like, how do I have an accent? I guess it's because I was born in Texas and then it mixed with New York and then Albanian. And
then Albanian pops
out.
But
it gave me this like podcast voice, like, you know, it's nice.
I'm digging it.
ASMR effect, like, hey. But getting back to the point.
For all the listeners, it's not auto-tune, by the way.
I should start doing some ASMR, like, hey, They're making millions of dollars on TikTok doing this shit.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Is that or feet pics? That's where I'm at.
So, it's just, America really need, like,
Serious.
like we need to, as an American, they need to arm the Albanians, like fully arm them. Yeah, Albania proper is in NATO, but you want to put Ukraine into NATO in the middle of a war with Russia, but the Albanians in Kosovo who would die for America, do anything for America, you're not letting us get armed. We can't get any of that. Yeah. You guys love buying weapons and shipping all over the world. Ship them to your friends in Kosovo. Let's keep the balance in the
Why do
world.
you think they didn't?
Well, Serbia's with Russia.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Serbia will pick Russia 101 out of 100 times. That's the fact. Nothing against it. That's their ally, right?
Yeah.
That's basically their mother. That's where they came from originally. Similar language, similar flag, literally colors. Similar language, same religion. They're tied completely. Albanians are multi-ethnic in that sense, multi-religious, sorry. Or one ethnicity, but multi-religions.
Yeah.
We're Orthodox too. We're Muslim. We're Christian. We're Catholic. And I'm proud of that. We've never fought each other over religion. We are a great example of religious tolerance in Europe, which was never tolerant of anyone's religion, right? You had Protestants and Catholics massacring each other for centuries in Europe, and our people never did, which I'm very proud of that. And, we produce some amazing people, and people try to attack her, but I'm like, hey, show us the proof, okay? Like I went on my friend Godfrey's show and they were trying to attack Mother Teresa. I'm like, listen, show me some facts, man. Because until I can see something like that is undeniable that she did anything wrong, I will never, ever speak against Mother Teresa.
People don't want to show facts these days at all.
Listen, no one's saying things didn't go wrong and things haven't happened, right? Especially in the Catholic Church, right? It's undeniable. But show me proof about her, please, before you make these wild allegations. And I'm pretty sure if anything ever happened, it wasn't to her knowledge, in my opinion. But show me facts. I'm not going to let anyone touch Mother Teresa until they show me facts that she did something wrong. I think she should have stayed with us, though. I wish she would have stayed with our people because we needed just as much help, She went and gave her life, to the nation of India, in the worst, areas of that country. Like, we're talking about, like, makes our poorest areas look like Disney World, right? But I'm just rambling, man. I don't know where I don't know where the hell we're going with this, but here.
You were going a story
What
about
I'm trying
America.
to say is this country, no one no one's saying it's perfect, okay? I'm not an asshole to sit and be like, oh, I'm a poster boy for, like, first of all, I hate all of our politicians. I hate right, I hate left, I hate them all. They've all done their best to chisel this nation.
Do you think that's a problem? I get ridiculed because like, what side are you on? And I'm like,
There is
I'm
no
not.
side,
I'm not on a side. I go,
Okay?
why can't I have?
If you're picking a side, you're the problem.
That
It's us, the American people. I don't care if you're black, white, Muslim, Jew, Christian, gay, straight. I don't care what you are. If you are galvanized right now, I have a news flash for you. Their propaganda has worked on you. If you are looking at other Americans like they are your enemy, what they are trying to do to our nation, they have done a wonderful job. And it's the same thing. It's the same reason why I said I can't hate all Serbians. Why? They were under a regime of Milosevic with state-controlled media. And I think most Americans by now, I think we can see that the mainstream media is very biased. No, like they push certain messaging and right. So it's safe to say, as Americans, we're under propaganda right now.
100%. Because how do you get past? You said to inspire people. Okay, you had 28 people you cared about killed. Right. How do you move?
How do I get past the hatred?
How do you get past the hate? And how do you? And then when something else goes wrong,
It took a very long time. It took, brother, I'm telling you about, like, when I say I was full of hatred. Now, remember, I lost 28 people I love, right? Gone in one day. Cousins, uncles, like, gone, right? It's a very normal feeling, right? To feel towards that. It would be kind of like how a Jewish person would have felt towards a German right after World War II, right? How could you feel good about wanting to ever see a German's face ever again? Or buy a Benz or buy a BMW or support anything that they have, right? It's the same analogy, right? Two horrible situations. For me, it was the beauty of this country, the parts that we don't talk about. Like when you live in New York City and such a multi-ethnic, multicultural, for me, it was the best place in the world until they destroyed it a couple of years ago, where you're forced to live side by side with people and work with them. And sometimes they might come from places where across the ocean, you two would have rifles pointed at each other. And that is the strength of this nation, that all these different people can come together and have to find a way to coexist. And the laws are strong enough to protect our rights, where I'm like, even like overseas, you're my enemy, but I can't do that here because I'm gonna go to jail forever. You know? And you're forced to kind of deal with people. And then sometimes when you're doing that, you get past your own bias. So for me, it wasn't that any Serbian had done anything to me like in New York, but what happened to my family made me prejudiced. It's a fact. I would be lying if I told you I did not hate them. But I don't hate them all, because I started learning more about how this world works. How when I had to look in the mirror as an American, I didn't agree with the Iraq war. There's 1 million Iraqis dead right now. I didn't like Saddam. But who put him in power, bro? Who helped him fight the Iranians? I mean, we really need to look in the mirror as Americans, man. We got memories from 30 seconds ago because we all got TikTok brain. You want to know the truth of the world that we're living in today, you got to go back 100 years and start. And that's even still maybe too soon to really encompass where we were, where we are, and probably where we're going to go. So for me, I thought about it like, hey, I didn't support what happened in the Middle East in the last 24 years. Millions of people are dead. We left the Taliban stronger than we found them. I was in the World Trade Center, so I don't feel like anything was done to avenge me as someone and as a New Yorker and as an American. If anything, we left them stronger than we found them. Now they can claim they defeated 2 empires, the Afghanis. So for me, it's like, so that's my bullshit meter is going off. Says, okay, you're bullshitting too much. Stop. So as an American, I didn't support those policies, but if I was an Iraqi, I might hate an American, right? Say they invaded us, they killed us, they whatever, right? But meanwhile, I'm really on their side. Like, I don't agree with what my people did to you. So I met Serbians that were very vocal. You know, they might feel a certain way about that region, but when I'm like, hey, please just look at a few things. First of all, we didn't ask for independence right away. We just wanted our rights restored. Your homeboy Milosevic, look what he did in Bosnia, this place, that place. And I understand, like, and it's very hard for someone to get past their own bias, right? So I challenged them. But in New York City, I was forced to meet Serbians, and I finally met one. And I try not to like this guy, bro. This is when you know you're just being stupid, right? And my friends introduced me, and I'm Serbian, man. I don't want to meet this guy, man. Like, I was like, I feel like I'm betraying my family. My family got killed by his people. I don't want to see you. This is what's going through my mind, right? Because you explain, how do you get past this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, fuck, man, whatever. So he owned a bar with some Irish guys, and, you know, cool dude, right? Always nice to me. And the whole time, I'm just like, not even letting this guy even get within an inch of me or be nice. Like, and he's just being respectful and nice. It's not him who killed my family. You know? And after a few times of going there, and I would always just not talk to him. It was like he didn't exist, right? And I just felt really stupid after a while. He's like, can I ask you a question, man? He's like, why? He's like, how come you never talk to me? I always try to say hi to you. Like, I'm like, brother, I don't know how to tell you this. I said, I'm Albanian, you're Serbian. Like, my family got killed by your people. He's like, well, how come you can't talk to me? I'm like, well, I just don't want to, bro. Like, it's just too fresh. Like, this only happened 15, this is 10 years ago when I met him. So it was only like 12 years that had already happened, right? So it was only 12 years ago that I lost my family at this point. That's a very fresh wound,
Still
bro.
fresh, yeah.
And we're not talking about one person. We're talking
28.
about 28 heads. He's like, first of all, the reason I'm in this country is that they tried to draft me to go fight in that war, and I left. I fled the nation. I didn't want to be a part of it. That's why I came to New York City. All right. I know what happened. I don't agree with what happened. I don't agree with the way our country imploded. I know that this guy, and he believed that he was put in there by foreign powers to destroy that country. I believe that too. I think that for a small period of time, that country was decent. I don't support socialism or communism at all. I just want to clarify that for the record. But people that lived there, if they're being honest, there was a brief time period that it kind of worked when Tito was in power of the former Yugoslavia. And they had decent lives compared to many other places in the world. They had a pretty strong passport at one point. They hosted the Olympics, bro.
Yeah, you know? Fucking crazy is that?
In the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, in Sarajevo. So for me, understanding how the world works now and how really nations are just chess pieces, and these powers that be play with all of us in such a way that I don't think most of us can even begin to comprehend how this world really works. I'm not saying people like you. I'm talking about just in general. And people go, well, where do you get all this knowledge from? Because when you're a 13-year-old kid and you find out 28 people you love were murdered because of a war, because of their ethnicity, for no other reason except who they are that they have no control over. Why they're, I can't control that I was born in Texas. That's where I was born. I can't control that I'm white or whatever, you know? So to hate people on these things that they have no say over, it's just like, I hate it, right? Racism, hatred, getting past these bias. So when I met this guy, I felt really dumb, man. And we had that conversation. It like opened my eyes a little bit. Like, we're not all the same. Just like, and then that's when it hit me, like, as an American, I didn't support all this stuff. How would they view me over there? And I was against it. So it might be the same thing with this guy.
Same thing. Yeah.
It might be the same thing with this guy. So how can I put everyone in one box? There was Germans that saved Jews during the World War II. Does that make him as evil as the rest? Like, so like, I think it comes down now. We live in a time where each person, you have to judge individually as a person in the world we live in right now, because it's just very different.
But we don't do that. We put everything in a box. We put everything in.
And that's what they want us to do.
You can't vote for your policies. Like, I was having a conversation the other day, and I'm like, hey man, I was a dirt poor white trash kid who grew up in a trailer park. I was homeless at 14. I was sleeping on a park bench. Like, all my friends were African American or Hispanic, lived in the poor side of town. They took me in, right? Like when my family abandoned me, you know, they took me in. And I'm like, why is it not okay for me not to want to pay higher taxes? Maybe I just want to lower my taxes, but I also don't want people to be discriminated against because of their religion or their race. And a crazy story, what was it, Michigan? Was it when we moved to Michigan? We moved to Michigan to take over this company. And we went in to tour a gym, right? And we're like, hey, we're from Texas. We're moving here. It's like, you know, young white kid, like good looking cat, well-spoken. And he's talking to my wife, who's Albanian, obviously blonde hair, green eyes. He's like, well, where'd y'all move to? And we're like, well, we're moving here. We haven't moved yet. Like we're in the process. And he's like, well, you don't want to live here. And we're like, why? He's like, not in this area. He's like, there's too many Muslims. I was like, oh, really?
Well, you're by Dearborn?
And I'm like, oh. And I can see the look on her face. And obviously it's like, you know, it's not something she practices now, but it was like, I'm getting fired up because I'm like, hey man, like, what do you mean by? He's like, you know, those people, and he's like, you
were probably more offended because you're from Texas. Like, how's he more racist than us?
Yeah, I was like, hey dude, you can't out racist me. Well, I'm thinking, I'm like, hey bro, so I take, first of all, I'm like, hey you fucking idiot, it's not a race, it's a religion. Like
anyone could be Muslim.
Like
anyone could be Christian.
But here's the crazy thing, I'm like, listen, watch your fucking mouth, because if it wasn't for that religion, because her family, I wouldn't have my son. So better watch who you're fucking talking to.
First country to recognize the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America was a Muslim country. If I'm not mistaken, it was Morocco. The Moroccans were the first ones to say, America, you want to be a country? We recognize you. They don't tell anything that goes against the agenda.
Well, you can't.
Okay? They don't want to tell stories about World War II, how Albania was the only country in Europe that saved every Jew that came to its borders. A predominantly Muslim. But yeah, we're secular, but no, the stereotype is that these two religions don't get along and they should be killing each other and wiping each other out. And if I'm being fair to the Albanian nation, it had nothing to do with religion. It's the Albanian culture.
Yeah.
But on the surface level also, it's like, yeah, this is also their religion. But then why, if Islam teaches us to hate Jews, then why were the Muslims saving Jews, right? And if you really study the history, Ottoman Empire, we mentioned earlier, was one of the most powerful empires in the world. Their foreign ambassador to the world was a Jew. So if Muslims hated Jews so much, then why were they given positions of authority throughout Muslim history?
How was it?
And there's an amazing story, by the way. When you study the beginning of Islam, one of the most amazing human beings, I challenge your audience to study this man's life. An amazing human being that every world leader should study this man's life. Omar al-Khattab. He was one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This guy was an amazing human being. There's so many lessons from his life that we should learn as people. So at this time, the Muslims are rising in power, right? The Prophet, passes away. Abu Bakr, his companion, takes over. And then after his reign, the next leader is Omar al-Khattab. He was the Khalifa, or what is called the Muslim king at that time, when it was the empire. This is when they took Persia and they took Jerusalem without war, by the way, when the Muslims took it the first time. It was a negotiation. It was like, hey, you're paying this much in tax, we'll charge you less, but then you're under us. And that's how they got it. And then the Crusades was when it got physical. But this man, when they try to make him the king of the Muslims at the time, he tells them no, okay? And they keep telling him no. He keeps telling them, no, I don't want the position. No, I don't want the position. Like, imagine now. You could go right now, I promise you, on any street, especially in New York, and be like, you could pick the most random person and be like, hey, you want to be the president of the United States of America? They'll say, yeah, I'll do it. I bet you ask 9 out of 10 people, we're going to make you the president, Secret Service. They'll say, yeah, man, I'll do it. Not realizing the responsibility that you have when you say, I want to be the one to lead you. I think that's the first sign that you have the wrong candidate. And this applies today. I'm getting to a point here. They're trying to pass him the baton to be the king, and he's saying, no, I don't want to be the king. That's the first step that you have a true leader. A true leader is not one who seeks power. He's the one that people know their character so well that they're so selfless. I'm so sorry about this because my bullshit meter, I guess, is going off again. I have alarms here. I don't want to miss your pod, and you would have been late if that was the alarm. Different time zone, and I'm glad you made it. Yeah. Alarms for New York. Yeah. I'm so sorry about that to the audience, but the first sign to me of a true and righteous leader is there one that wasn't seeking the position to begin with.
You don't seek out to lead.
Beware of the one who seeks power. Right? 2, they told him either you're going to take the seat of this empire, or we're going to leave it with no leader. We're going to leave the Muslims without a king. So they force him. It's recorded in his wife's memoirs, if I'm not mistaken, in his history, that for the first 6 months, this man stayed up all night, praying all night, and weeping to God in prayer. Because Muslims pray like this when they ask God for something. I know Christians get on their knees, right? So Muslims do similar. They get, and they put their hands up towards the sky, like they're asking the one above the heavens for something, right? He was recorded as crying all night long in prayer, "Oh God, forgive me if a dog should die of hunger while I rule." Because a true leader, especially one that says they believe in God, because they can go inside the White House, 50 denominations, put their hand on Donald Trump and go in prayer, or Biden. It's all for the cameras. But the one that truly believes in the one above, God, they know that the King of all kings, Master of the universe, the all-hearing, the all-knowing, the one that all praise belongs to, he sees, he knows, and he judges based on intention. And he knows if this person is truly doing what's right for the people, because in essence, he allows you to have the power, right? God allows you to have that power. It's also your test. Omar understood, especially from the Islamic perspective, if every single living creature under his authority, he's responsible for. And on the day of judgment, when he has to face God, he's going to have to answer why a dog died. Forget how we treat our subjects, our humans, our fellow people, our fellow citizens. He's going to have to answer to God why a tree was cut down that didn't need to be cut down. Now imagine how rulers today treat their citizens. Are they ruling from that position? It's recorded in his history that he would circle the city. This is the king, not his workers. The king would circle the city all night looking if someone needs something, his citizens. And one time he comes across an encampment of a woman in the middle of the night. The kids are screaming and crying. She doesn't know that he's the king, Omar himself. And he goes, "Oh, woman, like, what's wrong with you?" Like, she's like, "The kids, they haven't eaten, like they're starving." And she's like, "Shame on Omar." He doesn't even tell her that he's Omar. Yeah. He's going crazy. Get food, brings her this, that, begs her to forgive him. The king. Even more of his history. This, to me, is an amazing human being. He is now ruling over what was Persia, Byzantine. It flourished under him. He wasn't chopping people's heads off and arms if they were stealing, right? Because he was ruling from compassion, love. I'm going to have to answer to God. I'm responsible. Because today they make it sound like Islam chopped the hand off. Yeah, there's a lot of countries doing that. If they steal, chop their hand off. They brought someone to him that was stole. And he said, release him. Because if he stole, then I didn't provide for him as his king. I failed because he had to steal. I mean, look at the wisdom, man. When the foreign ambassadors would come from all the other empires, they were like, "We're here to see the king of the Muslims. Where is he?" He would sleep on the floor of the mosque. He looked like a bum, brother. He wasn't wearing this robe with a crown and jewels. He was the king of one of the most powerful empires at the time. And they're like, "Where is he?" This is your king? People started converting on the spot when they met this guy. This is your king? Because he put his people
First.
before himself. He knew God was watching him. And then when you look at like the Ottoman Empire towards the end, their corruption, the things that they did commit atrocities. There's no denying what happened with the Armenians. No offense to my Turks, but let's be real. And that's why the caliphate fell, the kingdom of the Muslim, because corruption, just like this nation of ours, the excess, once it became so powerful, and money and this and that and conquering and empire syndrome, I feel that this nation itself now has the most corrupt of the corrupt. Those that are seeking power, those that put themselves before the nation, those that put the security and the future of our children's lives in this country, those that have allowed foreign powers and interests to infiltrate our corporate structure, to take our secrets over the last 30 years to foreign nations, that we no longer make anything in this country like we did, and we call ourselves a superpower. We didn't have enough antibiotic when the world closed down 3 years ago.
Yeah, we're dependent on everybody else.
Okay? They gave it all away. When I used to champion people like Bill Clinton before I understood how the world worked, when he allowed slave labor from China to come into the World Trade Organization, it's going to be a good thing. Go watch his speech. I was mesmerized by him with the saxophone, and he was handsome. I met him once. Unfortunately, at one of my cousin's funerals, he was actually his next door neighbor. Bill Clinton was his next door neighbor. And he passed away young, unfortunately. And I'm at the funeral, and I'm not like paying attention. I'm smoking a cigarette. I turn around, bro. I shit you not, Dustin. I turn around, it's Bill Clinton shaking my hand. I said, "What the fuck?" Like, it was just crazy, right? And he's taller than me. I'm 6'2". I mean, and he like charisma, man. Like, I could see why the guy became like, these guys are speakers, but like, I think I'm a speaker. Like, yo, you hear Bill Clinton talk, it's like he'll mesmerize you, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here like
ultimate sales guy.
And everyone hates him right now and all that stuff, and Q and all that. I know, guys. Just take it easy, okay? But
get the audience riled up. Party of three.
I'm talking about the surface level, like very charismatic speaker, right? Obama was mesmerizing as a speaker. Let's be real.
Great speaker.
I think that's all they ever were. But I think there's Puppet Master behind there, but that's a whole nother story. So you guys know what I mean. We speak in code. My hat always says it, but I don't have my hat on me. You know what my hat says? FTHNWO. I'm merching that shit. You guys get your hats at becklever.com when I start.
NWO.
Trying to be like Dustin.
Yeah. Yeah, we got it.
So in essence, where I'm going with all of this is it's very easy to see. Those that seek power are the ones we as Americans should be running away from. And until we put term limits into this country, I graduated college in 2004 from Pace University in downtown Manhattan. Chuck Schumer was an old man then. He gave the commencement speech. I swear to God, he was old back then, all gray hair. And he gave the speech at my graduation. Here we are 20 years later. I'm fat, bald, and basically gray hair. And he's still in power. And this is why it does not matter. I hate to burst your bubbles. There's so many people think that Donald Trump is Jesus Christ. And even if he was, when you have that amount of corruption beneath you in every other position,
you can't do anything.
With guys that have been in power for 40 years, he couldn't do shit his first term, bro. Because they kept him in court and this and collusion and that. So even if he wins, no one man or woman can save this nation. The only people that can save America are the ones that created America. Me and you and be my brother's keeper and my sister's keeper, because if we do not, I believe from a cosmic perspective, from God's perspective, God never destroys a nation until he allows them to see the evil themselves. Mm-hmm. Pharaoh of Egypt, he didn't destroy him right away. Why did God send him plague after plague? That was actually, it wasn't to punish Pharaoh. It was a punishment in essence, right? The locust, the this, the turn. It was through this bad, I'm giving you a chance to realize, hey, God is real. You're messing around. I'm going to destroy you if you don't change course. He could have just destroyed him from the get-go. He never destroys a nation until he sends them a messenger. And what has Trump accomplished, period? Whether he's good or bad, I don't care one way or the other. For the first time, you've seen that there is evil in this nation. You have seen that you have been manipulated, controlled by interest and foreign powers and people, and that even the president doesn't have power in this nation. That he can be thrown off the internet, thrown into prison, attacked, which means me and you, my friends, we have nothing unless we stick together. And that's the greatest story of the last 8 years. And this ship that we're on, the United States of America, if it does not change course, that iceberg is already 100 feet away from us, my friends. We don't have a lot of time. These last 8 years was God allowing us to see the evil, and now we have to decide, me and you, Dustin, from Texas to California to North Dakota to Florida, whether we will stand and protect all of each other. Because I got a news flash for all you guys on the left and you guys on the right, we're all gonna fucking go down. All of us.
We're all gonna burn together.
Unless we wake the fuck up and realize we are not enemies. These motherfuckers.
How do you wake people? I said
you gotta watch the Dustin podcast,
yeah,
bro. It's the only way.
This is the only way. The attempted assassination. I saw a lot of people that were
A very fishy thing, man.
Well,
It's
fishy as fuck when you're in the middle of where were they at, like Ohio,
Butler, Pennsylvania, but more towards Pittsburgh.
in the middle of in a cornfield with one building, and the somebody infiltrated the one building in the whole property.
Brother, it makes no sense. The kid looks like he's playing Call of Duty his entire life in a basement.
Well, he was. And
okay, he's 20 pounds soaking wet, bro.
Expert level.
They're watching him with massive binoculars, and they didn't see this coming. Come on, bro. They can pinpoint anyone, any climate. Come on, man. It's just weird, guys and girls. You don't see something wrong here?
Apparently there was nothing
very
wrong.
fishy shit.
He was expert level.
Yeah. Supposedly, I guess he was trained by the Mossad. I mean, it just doesn't make no sense to me. I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying. How else could this guy? What is he? Born Identity? Like, it makes no sense.
He's Jason. It could have been Jason Bourne.
People trying to say MK
But
Ultra
but here's the crazy. Literally, people in the audience were yelling, "Hey, there's a guy on the roof." Nobody's saying, and they're no big deal.
And they're like this. Oh yeah, okay. Let's stand down because. Don't miss. They're probably this. Please don't miss, kid. Please don't miss. That's
and he turns his head and he missed. But that to me was a wake up call for a lot of people, even people that saw a lot of people
if
agreed.
That bullet hit, bro?
It's over.
There's some diehard people on the right, bro. Just like there's people on the left, right?
Yeah.
They burn half the country down. Like, let's be real. Let's call a spade here, okay? Peaceful protest. They were burning half the fucking country down. Let's be real. If we can't call shit out collectively and be fair, we're already done, bro. And I'm afraid that I don't see this country being saved. I said what I said 30 seconds ago. If we don't wake up, no one's coming after your life. So they got us believing that because you're gay, I'm going to destroy your life, because you're a Muslim, because you're this, because you're black, right? We're all galvanized. And we all are being taught to think that these people are going to take away your right to live and vice versa, right? So we're all like this. And this is how people really believe right now, right? But it's really not. That's them telling us that it is.
Exactly.
I don't care what you do in your fucking bedroom. Do you give a fuck what people do in their bedroom?
I don't give a.
Stay away from me and my kids, though. Let me teach my kids what I want to teach them and let them choose. When they're adults, let them choose. Live and let live. Believe or don't believe in anything you want. I don't care. Like, I really don't give a fuck.
Just leave me alone.
Just leave me the fuck alone. But a wise man, Hamza Yusuf, actually, amazing person to listen to speak, said that be careful when normal people get mad. You know, the guy that doesn't want to be bothered. He just wants to work, take care of his family, and do what's right. Like, when you push that guy, because they're silent majority.
Yeah, that's most people.
The silent majority, like when they get mad, there's no coming back from that. And I feel like we're right there. I drove cross country 2 years ago from New York to LA, and I can tell you from town to town, border to border, the way people thought was so different just depending where you were. And even in California, LA 1 minute, an hour later I'm in Costa Mesa, and I felt like I was in Texas, right? They were as right as hell. But I'm like, wait, but California's blue. And but it's just amazing to me how divided we are.
Yeah.
And we've been led to believe this. I think if you ask most people, they say, listen, I might not agree with your lifestyle, but it's not my business.
Do you, boo? Whatever. Just don't fuck with me or my kids, and I'm good.
Just don't touch me and my kid. You want to fuck a donkey? If it's not illegal, it's not illegal,
yeah.
Because I think that's wrong. I think the donkey has fucking rights, but
yeah. Maybe the donkey's into it. Do your thing. Yeah. I'm not judging.
No, the donkey.
Don't make it my donkey.
Yeah, we're never gonna know if the donkey is. That's the problem. But leave me alone. Leave my kids alone.
Yeah.
They'll figure out what the fuck they are when they're 18. If they want to do what they want to do. Until they're 18, they're mine. They can't buy cigarettes until they're 21. They can't, and what? You want them to make life, there's no going back decisions? Some weird shit
That's
there.
just crazy to me. When
Gavin
you see
Newsom?
It's wild.
Really?
Like 13 years old. And
That guy's
imagine.
the creepiest, cringiest, fucking scumbag, fucking lowlife. Just from COVID is all you need to know about him. No, we were inside. We were outdoors when we were shut down California. You and your cunt, Nancy Pelosi.
That's my favorite word,
Okay.
by the way, too.
She's in the salon with no mask, right? Well, kudos to that salon owner, by the way, for airing her shit out. Nancy Pelosi. When you can see that hypocrisy and you still support them, the people that support you, and again, there's plenty of them on the right. Plenty of them on the right.
Yeah.
So I just want to make it clear, like, for you guys that are like, oh my God, he's no, like, fuck both of them. Because one side started destroying this country too with all these fucking wars for the last 30 years that benefited nobody. Nobody. Republicans went to war with the entire Middle East. For what? For the military-industrial complex? Because America ain't any safer. America's not doing any better. My friend Eric Patrick Thomas, who's quadriplegic from his neck down, can't move a muscle, doesn't have clean drinking water in Flint, Michigan. And we got money for destruction, but we have no money for construction.
Crazy story about Flint, Michigan. You want to hear the biggest bullshit about Flint, Michigan?
Go.
I've seen this with my own eyes, by the way. We lived in Michigan. We had a location in Flint, Michigan. So shout out to the Detroit Police Department. So we did a toy drive there, right? And we were storing the toys and we did a ride along. So on active duty. But for whatever reason, for one of the ones, it was in Clinton Township, I think it is, up there. We went to Flint where they don't have the running water. And so we got to go into a school, okay? It's abandoned high school, middle school, whatever. The entire school, every classroom, gym was full of bottled water. And they didn't hand it out. Meanwhile, people didn't have running water, and the people that they were voted into office to run it had all the water in a high school. I was baffled. And they were like, this is just the way it is. I'm like, what do you mean it's the way it is? They had all, if you would have told me this story, I wouldn't believe. I would be like, you're fucking out of your mind. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm like, but all the water for the people that don't have water is literally in their backyard. It's in this school, it's in this gym, and they weren't giving it out to people. And I saw, I'm like, are you kidding me? And so they put all these people in these situations and they couldn't fix the water. Yeah, they had all that aid and all that there. But why? Because then people don't need you anymore. Because they had the water right there. It was insane. And that's how they did it.
Corruption, brother, is like gangrene. That's why,
wild.
No offense to construction people and listen. That's why that, Bob Menendez right now, right? New Jersey, gold bars. And I know some of the cats involved in that shit, and I have no comment as far as that's concerned. But that's why corruption's illegal. Because it starts small. It's an envelope here, envelope there. I get the job because I put an envelope or a gold bar in a senator's pocket. And the next thing you know, they're making decisions that do not protect our nation. You want to be a public servant? Let's start with the word public. You are here to serve the public, right? Great. From now on, we see a complete, transparent audit of all your money and sources of income before you step into office. Every year there's an audit because you are a public figure, a public servant. You will be audited every year. Oh, you have an extra $500K coming in this year? Where the fuck's it coming from?
How do you get in the office broke and leave rich?
You get 8 years, that's it, and get the fuck out. And that's how you fix America. Real simple. Lobbying's illegal. You're here for the public because now they know they can't make money and all these backdoor deals and fucking briefcases under the table. Guess what? Only people that actually care are going to step forward for the position. Yeah. Okay? That's how you fix America if it's not too late already. Because unfortunately, gangrene, there's no cure. You got to chop body parts off to save your life. And we got maybe just our nose left. The rest of the body's fucking done. So I hope this country can turn around, but I'm really not holding my breath anymore.
If it doesn't, where are you going back to Albania?
There's nowhere to go, brother. We'll be, let's not talk on camera. There's nowhere to go. This is the last place, my friend. If this nation should perish, so will the Western way of life forever. There is nowhere to go. I'll be on that fucking hill with you is where I'll be.
That fucking
like my grandfather, God rest his soul, that fought to the last bullet in the mountains of Albania against the fucking communists of the Hoxha regime. That's why I was born in this nation.
That's why you love it.
Okay. I know where my family came from, brother. My family was thrown into camps. Shout out to my cousin Adrian and Agim. Shout out to my cousins. They grew up in fucking concentration camps, bro. They were under one of the darkest regimes in history.
And how long ago was that?
That ended in the early 90s, like 90.
But people don't realize it because they want to erase it.
Okay, no one was allowed in. No one was allowed out. They were scared to even talk out loud in their house because if someone hears it and they're saying anything that can be perceived anti-regime, they're fucking dead or they're being thrown into jail forever. And you people hate this country. You want to burn it down. And yes, I know it has a dark past, but let's like look at where we are. The problem is that some of these people can't go to other places and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Because then they would say, okay, I don't want to burn this fucking place to the ground. Let's just kind of like fix it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we have this house. I think it needs a new coat of paint.
Maybe a new roof.
We need to patch some holes in the sheetrock. Like, we have some fucking holes. Yes, I'm not denying that. But I promise you, we burn the whole fucker down, there's no coming back for any of us. I promise you. And I'll get comments, oh, because you're white. My friend, I love people. First of all, I'm from a country that's been persecuted for 2,000 years. Not 400, 2,000 years. Stepped on, massacred, murdered, empire after empire. My people had nothing to do with the slave trade. Look at the Albanian history. Also, predominantly Muslim, okay? For the last 20 years, it hasn't been fun being a Muslim in America. Let's be real. I understand what people went through in the past, but since those buildings came down in New York, it was not fun. And as a white boy who comes of that faith, the amount of ignorance and bigotry and hatred that I heard in the streets of New York, let alone the rest of the country, because people were putting 2 billion people into one tiny box for some fucking caveman who miraculously flew fucking 747s into fucking, which miraculously, like fucking amazing. Like you can't even make a movie like that. And they did. Amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to go too deep down the wormhole on that one. I think most Americans, I think they're starting to realize what really happened that day. What do you think happened that day? Do you believe the official account?
No.
Honestly. Now, you're a white boy with a cross on your neck.
Listen.
You tell me.
I do not. I don't believe.
You think two boogeyman on a fucking... And I was there that day, right? I swear to God, brother, with the flag. Let's go to Afghanistan. They got me good, bro.
Yeah,
I was in the
propaganda.
E-train. Bro, I was in the E-train. Okay, I come out beneath the World Trade Center. That day, okay, my life was never the same again. I became even more wild after that. Because it was like fucking anything can happen, right? Like life is so crazy. I still got PTSD. I swear to God, to this day, if I'm in the Holland Tunnel or the Lincoln Tunnel and there's traffic, I get panic attacks as I'm like, is this fucking truck gonna blow?
Did you work there? Did you work?
I was going to school
at the World Trade.
2 blocks away, brother. So I would take the E-train, last stop, World Trade Center. I'm underneath it while the first one's already on fire and the second plane's hitting I'm coming up.
Did it?
No, I had no idea.
You had no idea.
I remember the train doors open up on the subway, and I was excited that I couldn't wait to get to school. It was beautiful out. I'm like, I love college, man. Shout out to Pace University. You guys know what I did there. I turned the commuter school into a party school, bro. Straight up.
We don't want to go into depth what you did there.
Let's just put it this way.
Presence.
National Lampoon's Animal House. Shout out to Jim Belushi, by the way. Just follow me on Instagram. I'm very proud of that. Albanian icon. John Belushi, his brother was...
Wait, can I ask a question? Because I always argue about this. I hear Albanians go, white boy. What box of Albanians check? Because they'll be like, I'm not white. And I go, the fuck? What?
I've heard that too, but let's be real.
So I want to know. I want to know.
White.
Well, that's what
but you know what is? Albanians, because we've always lived in like literally throughout Europe and America, we've always been in like the ghettos, bro. Like you go to the Bronx with only white boys there. Everyone like, I mean, there's still some Italians left and Irish, but like... we always ended up in like the worst fucking neighborhoods throughout Europe. Like we're always in like the low income 8 Mile Road type shit. Like, hey, Michigan, like we're always in like the worst fucking areas and then we rise up.
So is it, do Albanians check other or they check Caucasian? I gotta know. And I love, I mean, I married an Albo, so I'm in, but I want to know.
I mean, they say Albanians, like, you know, got a lot of things in common with the, you know, black people and certain...
So when you go, you check. What do you check?
You know, below the waist, supposedly. I don't know. So
I always say I'm black. I always say I'm black from the waist down.
You know, shout out. But no, I mean, I think it's just that, you know, we were treated in that way. Think about it. Like, let's compare. Like, always killed. We endured racism. We still experience a lot of racism. Listen, all of the UK, the parliament was like, no more Albanians can come to London, and we want the Albanians out. Like, bro, we experienced racism. A lot, especially in Europe. I went to Germany. They wouldn't let me into nightclubs. I'm born and raised in America. perfectly dressed, fucking handsome, king of fucking New York. There's not a rope I can't. Just
Christopher Walken, shout out.
okay, shout out, great actor.
King of New York.
And what happens? I go to this place. It was called the Cocoon Club in Frankfurt. If you guys are still open, fuck you. Fuck you if you're still open. This is like 2010 or whatever. And I go there and they're like 9. I'm like 9? No, you know. I'm like, no what, man? Like it wasn't even fucking busy. It was like a fucking Thursday or a Wednesday. I'm like, why can't I say, brother, I'm dressed, I'll buy whatever about it. That's not how this works. I go, well, why can't you Albanian? I go, you motherfucker. They wouldn't let me in.
Yeah.
And they said, because you're Albanian. Well, this Auslander, and shout out to my Germans. I like Germans, man, but yo, chill with that Auslander shit. Auslander means
And he said 9. You should know there's going to be trouble when he said 9.
Outsider is what it means. Very ethnocentric. Doesn't mean they're racist, but ethnocentric. Ethnocentric. And Albanians can be that way too. You know, you look, you got him. We don't want you marrying any of our women if you're not Albanian. Doesn't mean we hate you all the same.
They wouldn't. They would. You know what's crazy? 3 years. These fuckers wouldn't talk to me for 3 years, right? Hey, the day we have our son, Mergeem did. Okay, shout out to Mergeem. No one thought, hey, fucking hate him, white. And they were like, fucking white boy. And I'm like, what? And then the day we have our son, 50 of them show up to the hospital. Hey, and I was like, man, fuck all these
They
guys.
wanted to make sure you were serious.
But they brought good food. So then I was like, all right, we're in.
You know what it is, brother? And just, you know, not to like, and I get it, bro. And I do believe love is blind, bro. Yeah. Doesn't matter what fuck. We're people that have been in war, literally nonstop, bro. Like nonstop tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. And we're not a big people. We're 13 million. And because of all the oppression and the poverty in the Albanian lands and being divided into 4 different countries, taking a piece of us, we're worried like, how do we survive another generation, right? And when half of our people are forced out of our lands because of poverty and war and oppression, I don't care how patriotic you are from wherever you come from. 1 generation, 2 generations in a foreign land, you're gonna assimilate. I don't care who you are. America's proof of that.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sure the Italian culture, when it first came, they lasted 3 generations before they finally melted, right? You don't marry an Italian. They were the same fucking thing. You're trying to preserve what little you have left because you're scared. And it's the truth. And you got to understand something. Half the Albanians live outside of Albania, right? Albania, when I mean all the Albanian lands, Albania, Kosovo, Mađarska, Montenegro, right? If half of us live outside, 2 generations, we just lost half of our people. So it wasn't like, and don't take it the wrong way, it wouldn't matter if it was you or Irish or Polish.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Because they were trying to attack me on In Godfrey We Trust. I
Yeah,
love God. Shout out to Godfrey, one of the biggest comics. He's the man. I love him. He was the parrot in Aladdin. They were trying to like, you know, I was like, no, leave the Albanians out of this white shit that happened with you. Like, we had nothing to do with that. Like, we were getting massacred, okay? We just got massacred 20 years ago. Like, your beef, you guys have a right to feel the way you do.
Yeah.
Me, my people, my ancestors, we had fucking enough. We didn't even have a fucking boat to get to America. Like, you know, we didn't even have a fucking boat to get even anywhere near this country during that time period. And there's Albanians that say George Washington was Albanian. I don't know, Laura, you heard this shit? I've been hearing it. I don't know how true it is.
Of course,
if it's true, then we're fucked.
Rumor.
Then we can't say
George
no.
Washington.
They were like Martha Washington. I mean, but that's how like we want to believe everyone. And no shot. And we do have mad, amazing people. For small people,
the most prideful people ever.
For the smallest people.
Fucking wild.
Dua Lipa, shout out Dua Lipa. Ava Max, my sister, I love you. Jim and John Belushi. Mother Teresa, supposedly the scientist that made Viagra.
Hey, I'm
okay.
I've
like
used
this.
To my
Albanians
advantage.
love to curse. Hey, like, you know, we use the.
I've used it to my advantage plenty of times. I do have a question though. Who has better pizza, Albos or Italians?
Both.
No, you can't say both. No,
I'll say both.
No, both. There's none of that. There's a winner and there's a loser.
I don't know, man, because I haven't had pizza in an Italian pizzeria in years in New York. It's like all the Albanians bought them.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, listen, I love the pizza in Italy. There's no doubt about that. That's a different style, though. You talking about like American pizza?
I'm talking about if pizza pound for pound. Who's got? Because first of all, I love watching Dave Portnoy's pizza reviews because I love pizza.
He didn't review some of my cousin's places too much. I don't like that. I'm not gonna mention their pizzeria's name, but Dave,
he gave him low scores.
They weren't low, but
it's not his style.
We're done with. He's scaring me.
Oh, yeah, get a photo. Yeah. He said he didn't like Dave Portnoy. He used to work for
No, I
Barstool.
like Dave though. I like a lot of what Dave does and what he stands for, and I like anyone that's standing for free speech, bro. I don't give a fuck, and I don't care what your speech is. Like it could be against
Yeah, just
everything
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I respect,
Say it.
man. I'm actually working on something massive, and I can't talk about it, but I might be saving free speech in this country.
It needs to.
I'm working with some very powerful people right now to launch a network that will protect the 1A, First
That's
Amendment.
good.
No censorship across the board with the biggest content creators from the most censored side of talk these days.
Yeah.
Can't get into details too much yet, but if it happens, brother, we'll be ringing that bell on Wall Street, God willing, bro. Let this be
Somebody,
in the archives. Let this be in the archives.
I had somebody send me. I had to sign a non-disclosure about something the other day, and it might be what you're talking about.
You know a guy by the name of Darren?
I wasn't there, but he sent me. I had to sign a non-disclosure
One
about
of the
something
first
free.
sharks on Shark Tank?
It's a podcaster, bro, but he's working with those people. Yeah,
It might be my project.
maybe. What a small world.
It's
So
a
who's got
small
better
world.
pizza? That's what we want to know. Dave Portnoy. Listen, I think Dave Portnoy goes to a lot of the wrong
I
places.
can tell you that the number one restaurant in the world was owned by an Albanian. And this is by Michelin, whatever. We're not even Michelin, right? That's the French or whatever, or Germans or Americans. Or Michelin started in America, I think. It's America, Michelin star, tire company.
Yeah.
Yeah, tire company, and then they made the guy, which was Noma. It was owned by an Albanian, if I'm not mistaken, from Kosovo, right? Number one restaurant in the world. Let's just leave it there.
I'm with
Pizza. Remember, our history goes
Little
back.
Caesars.
Pizza. In Albanian, the word for bread is pita. Not bread. It's like pie. Like it's a staple of our food. Pita. It's like what the Turks call burek. Pita. That's how you say it in Albanian. Pita. Pita. Sounds like pizza, bro. It's one of our most ancient words, bro. I don't know, bro.
I mean,
Albanians say pita. You guys say pizza. I don't know, but
so we're saying
I would say
Albanians
honestly,
invented
bro.
pizza.
Honestly, same. Like it's like you asking me who makes better pizza in New York or New Jersey. Honestly, bro, it depends. Like both are fucking phenomenal. I think now in the last 30, 40 years, I would have to say. You gotta remember, a lot of Albanians lived in Italy, bro. My mom's side of the family came to America through Italy. So a lot of Albanians stopped in Italy to escape communism, the way, and we've had Albanians since the 1400s, right? So there's fusion there. So both, bro. Both make phenomenal pizza. Some do better, some do worse, but overall, I mean,
If it's your last meal,
I would say some of the most delicious. I would say the Italians just a little bit more, just a
you're
little
going
bit,
Italian,
just a little bit. The sauce part, bro. Some of that stuff's family recipe type
Yeah.
stuff. Like, you know, some of that secret stuff and like, you know, I mean, listen, some of the, like, and I guess the fairest way to say it is like until we take the crown, we can't say it in New York at least, right? Because you have like the Italian places are still like the most legendary,
got it,
right?
yeah.
Like L&B, Spumoni, and like, you know, you can't, you have to dethrone them. Lucali's.
I've actually never been to New York.
You're so lucky you met me before you come to New York. It's the same thing I said to Bradley.
I've never been.
Now, I don't drink.
I don't either.
Okay, then it's good that you still know me because we'll have fun. But I told Bradley, if you pay for a drink in New York, I'll put my head in the toilet. And I gave him beer.
What if I buy my own drink?
And I
Just
gave him
put it
beer,
in the toilet.
But meaning like if you
No, I
come,
know.
but you're out
Yeah.
now. You listen. You're married to an Albanian. Come on, man. I mean, they better be doing the right thing in Texas. Hospitality wise,
Yeah, it
the
bothers
food, the
me.
drinks, the this,
Yeah.
the that. They won't let you pay, or
Bothers me.
even when they're broke, they'll fucking pay.
I know. It's crazy. It
Yes or
bothers
no?
me. No, 100%.
They're not like, oh, Dustin's worth 50 fucking million. Fuck him. He's paying. No, like they're like, fuck him. He thinks he's cool because he has 50 million. Fuck him. I'm gonna spend my last 200, and Dustin can go fuck himself because I don't care that he's rich and I'm gonna pay for the bill anyway. Yes or no?
No, it's dude. It will, like,
Tell the
my
world
friends
how
will go in
generous
there.
are the Albanians.
No, it's crazy. So I'll
Be honest.
No, it's the crazy.
Am I fucking lying or no? Why you
I've
think
had
Mother
friends-
Teresa's one of ours, bro? Go ahead.
I've had friends go into family restaurants and they're
We'll
like,
fucking overdraft our account, bro.
they
We
were
don't
like,
give a
"Hey
fuck."
man, your boy came in and I told him the meal was on you." And I'm like, "Hey man, like let me pay you." They're like, "No, they took care of it." They're like, "Hey, Dustin knew you were here. He got your meal." Like I'm like, that's crazy because not only did they give it for free, they didn't even take credit for it. They gave credit to me or someone else. They're like, "Hey, that person, but I got you." Like go in there, hey, you want food, you want to go food, whatever, and it's like it's generosity, and I'm like, "Hey man, don't take care of it." So like me, like so I'm a giver, so you can't outgive a giver. I'll make sure I go.
So you're
tip
gonna
everybody in
sponsor
there.
the number one Albanian podcaster in the world since you're a giver?
it the number
Trying
one?
to close him on his fucking show,
Yeah,
right?
closers can't be closed. Closers can't be closed. How much time do we have? Oh, okay. I didn't know if we went over. Dude, see what I talked about last minute? Look what's happening. What are you up to now? I know you can't talk about some of it, but your podcast for people that can go listen.
So, what's funny is like I started the show about 4 years ago, the Beck Lover podcast. That's BEK, like the musician Beck. I'm a loser baby, but no C.
Yeah.
Beck Lover. I went through a lot of hard losses in my life. War. I lost, who I considered my brother, my mom's brother. He was everything to me in life. A lot of tragedies, and I wanted to inspire people to never give up, no matter what you've been through. So I started something called the Comeback Team, and I'm in the middle of revamping that. And when I started that podcast, I didn't know anything about podcasting. I didn't know how to shoot or edit or even let someone talk, because I have bad ADD sometimes, I guess.
It's an Albanian thing.
And we're very hyper, man. Yeah. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start this show, and I'm going to do it because I just want to do it. And if I save one life, that's my goal.
Yeah.
And today I get thousands of messages from people all over the world. Messages from people telling me, I didn't kill myself because of you. The first person was a woman by the name of Sharita. I don't know her last name. And she was the one. If you're listening, Sharita, you're the reason I kept going. So just like I helped you, you helped me. I heard, because I used to also host a room on Clubhouse, the app. It was an audio app, and it was called It Is Okay to Not Be Okay. So many times we're suffering, and then on top of that, we're beating ourselves up because we feel bad that we feel bad. So my room was called It Is Okay to Not Be Okay, because it is okay to not be okay. What's not okay is to give up. So many times, listen, I fell into holes, brother, I didn't get out of for years, 3 years. When my brother died, it took me 3 years to even, again, my mom's brother, but people don't understand the dynamics of that relationship. To say anything less than brother with that man, it doesn't do the relationship justice. This guy was everything to me. My mentor, my big brother, took me anywhere. He's the guy I could call, hey, I'm in trouble. Hey, it's like that scene with Ben Affleck when he's like, listen, we're going to kill some people. We're going to
just watch that the other day, The Town.
The Town. He's telling the guy, we're going to hurt some people. I don't want you asking, like, is that all right? What car are we taking?
Charlestown.
Like, when you have someone like that in your life and you lose them unexpectedly, just out of nowhere, they're gone out of your life, that you never, ever recover from.
You never get over it.
Ever.
But we're taught to get over our trauma.
The first time I came to Dallas was because of him. And the people I know today, think about this. This man, Nicky, God rest his soul, my mom's brother, he brought me here 10 years ago. And that's how I met all these cats down here. And I'm still benefiting from the magic he put in my life. He gave me the name Beck Lover. And to be down here and to tell you that I don't think about him right now, and that I'm not holding back tears just talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
He brought me on a private jet here. Shout out to Bonzi, by the way. I don't know if you ever met Bonzi. He flies right out of Addison Airport.
But sounds like a good time off the bat.
So I'm, the new year starts and I'm like, I'm going to be good this year and I'm going to behave. And it's like the fucking first week of the new year. It's freezing in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
New York.
If you're flying private to Dodge, you're not going to behave.
So he calls me. He goes, hey, Drama. He used to call me Drama, like Entourage, because he was Vinny in his mind. And I'm friends now with the writer of that show. Like, how fucking crazy. Like, I'm boys with Rob Weiss. Like, it's like life is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I just wish he could be alive to even know that. That was his favorite show, was Entourage. So he calls me up. He's like, hey, Drama, you have a jet waiting for you on Newark Airport. We're going to Dallas tonight, right now. I'm like, bro, I just started my job. I just clocked in. Fucking, I don't have any clothes. Like, and I don't know if he's fucking joking or not, because he would always fucking joke. Like, he would always, like, he would set you up with, like, a fucking prank. Like, I miss that shit, man. Like, joking, pranking. And he would do, like, amazing jokes. And he loved to laugh, bro. And he's like, if you don't come, I'm not going. I tell my boss, I make up some bullshit. At the time I was working for this company, which is the most epic resignation story in the history of resignation stories, bro. I never left quietly, bro. Or peacefully.
Shocker.
Bro, I have the best fucking resignation stories. I'm still even scared to even talk about them on fucking camera, even though that these companies are long gone, statute of limitations. But yo, yeah, bro. I'll tell you some of this shit off camera, okay? But make the story short, this is the kind of guy that would call you and change the whole course of your day in a week in fucking seconds.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to drive to Teterboro Airport. I might lose my fucking job and my wife might leave me, but we're going to fucking Texas. Like, and he knew I was his Robin. Like, Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm going with you. Like, that's the relationship we had. Sure enough, I get there, the fucking jet's waiting. I never been on a private jet. And the pilot tells us, you can drink anything you want, just don't touch the Royal Crown. And no, Muslims, I don't drink anymore. This is a long time ago. Drink whatever you want, just don't touch the Royal Crown. The first fucking bottle Nikki grabbed was the Royal Crown. You don't fucking tell Nikki what to do.
Yeah.
I never drank. That was the first and last time I ever had Royal Crown in my life. We were fucking wrecked. I get off in Addison here in Dallas.
Yeah.
Private, right?
Right here.
Right here, right? Private jets, yes. Can I be making this shit up, or does it sound like I'm telling you the
I
truth?
mean, you could be making it up, but it sounds like
I have no clothes on me, right? So now we're both drunk, and I'm like, Nikki, I need clothes, man. And like, I didn't have money back then like that. Because he would always say, don't worry, I got you. Don't worry, drama. Like Entourage,
Yeah.
don't worry, drama. Because he was my Vinny Chase, man. He gave me my juice in New York. He walked me into Lot 61, and then I did the rest on my own. Like, he opened doors for me. And I'm like, hey, man, I need clothes. And he's just like, shut the fuck. He grabs a scissor and just shreds my whole suit. I look like I literally, so now, but I'm the kind of guy that'll run with it, right? Now we go to Dillard's. I walk into Dillard's right here, I swear to God. Down the block, whichever this Dillard's is right here. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm look like one of the like background dancers in Michael Jackson Thriller.
The Thriller?
I swear to God. Shredded. The clothes, everything.
Should have went out like that.
And I'm telling everyone, I just survived the plane crash. And I'm just acting and having fun, and it was just wild, bro. Like, just amazing memories of laughing, and like laughing so hard I swear to God we would cry. And then you lose this person, bro. Just gone. Car accident, gone. It took me 3 years to get out of that, bro. Like, to even begin to. I never thought life would ever be good again.
Yeah.
I never thought I would laugh again. I tried to run away from that pain. I actually left New York and moved to San Antonio, out of all fucking places.
San Antonio.
I was down there for 6 months, brother. I was losing my fucking mind. Not because of San Antonio, but I realized you can't run away from your fears.
You gotta face them head
You
on.
have to face your demons. It didn't matter if I would have moved to anywhere. I could have moved
Doesn't
to
matter.
the other side of the world, and those demons were going to haunt me.
Yep.
And you got to turn and face them before they destroy you. And that's what I did. So I think the reason God made me take that trip was I got my nerve back when I left. I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike with my producer now. Shout out to Al the Pal, the greatest producer in the world. And I'm driving, no offense to yours, but driving, I'm not saying he's not, but just for me. He's just,
Loud ties, baby.
yo, shout out to Laos, bro.
Loud ties.
Shout out to Laos. And I'm driving down the New Jersey Turnpike. I lost my edge, man. When my brother died, I went from being an extrovert to completely introverted, stayed home, didn't go nowhere, didn't want to see anyone, crying myself to sleep for years, bro. Years. Like sorrow, man. Like I to anyone that's lost someone out there, if it's fresh right now, I mean, and the worst is, God forbid, you lose your child. Like, there's nothing that even comes close to that. I've seen what it does to people. I've seen it in my own family under many different situations. Just to tell people, man, that you can get back up. You can find a reason to live again. And it's very hard to sometimes, man. I understand why people go into that darkness and sometimes even take their own lives because they can't live another day once they lose this type of person or their wife or whoever they really, really love in their life. And it's so devastating.
Yeah.
Because life loses its luster. And that's where the whole name, the comeback team, came from. Because no matter what you've been through, no matter how bad it is, no matter how hopeless it may seem, as long as you have air in your lungs, you can always make
Keep
a
going.
comeback.
100%.
I don't know much about your life. I know you're successful. I can tell just from your operation, your office, you don't fuck around when it comes to sales.
No. In life.
I'm sure you struggled.
A lot.
I'm sure you had a lot of ups and downs.
Not really a lot of ups, mainly downs. There was all fucking downs.
But you never gave up.
No.
Did you always believe you could win?
100%.
You never questioned. You just said one day, and you never gave up.
My greatest probably attribute is I'm fucking I'm highly competitive and highly emotional, but I'm delusional. Like, I'm so delusional that I'm going to make it at all costs. Like, I will run through fucking anyone, anywhere, anytime. And like, I will never quit, so you won't beat me. Like, and people think it's great. Like, I love to compete. Like, I love the like I literally laughed today. I was watching this Kobe video. It was one I'd never seen, and it was one with he was in the Olympics talking to Scola, and he was talking in Spanish, and Scola was like, "Say in English, you speak better in English." And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna fucking understand this. Can you hear what I'm saying now? Because I'm gonna put it on your ass." And LeBron's like, "Kobe, chilled." He's like, "No, fuck you, Scola. You're gonna see now." And like he's running his mouth, and then the next play he steals the ball. But he starts talking about how he was the only champion on the Olympic team, on that Redeem team. And he's like, he's like, Spain cut it to 2. And he's like, I started laughing. He's like, just give me the ball. And he's like, the game was over. I knew it was over. He's like, I love those moments. And he's just like, I live for that. Like, I live for the competition. And so even when I was like homeless, had nothing, zero, like nobody, like I don't know my dad. Like people are like, oh, your family. I'm like, bro, my mom's a crackhead, like meth head. Like my wife knows the story. My sister was pregnant at 16. My mom was doing meth with her, right? Like real shit. Like it's bad.
Dark, bro.
Dark. Don't know my father. Don't know his name. And I'm like, family's fucked, obviously. And I'm like, I'm delusional to the fact that I'm going to make, even today, like company's worth over $100 million. Like I don't give a fuck about that. Like I couldn't care less. We're going to the next level. And so I'm so delusional in the fact that we're going to be a $1 billion brand. We're going to do this, that to me, it's already happened. We're just not there yet. And I don't like when someone competes with me, I'm like, other roofing companies. I will make you rethink your fucking life choices. Like you don't want to do that. Like you don't want to do
Shout out to the roofers in New York and New Jersey. You know who you are.
Yeah. They don't want it either. Right. I don't discriminate.
Is there any reason why a company can't be nationwide if they want to?
No, we will.
I'm saying, we will. Are there companies that are in 50 states or 4? I mean, I'm not sure you're gonna want to be in fucking Iowa. No offense to Iowa.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
Iowa, Nebraska, man. Let me tell you something, man. I visited Nebraska when I filmed that documentary. I'm walking around Lincoln, and I'm like, wait, this is the fucking capital. It was like a village, bro. I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, I'm back in Albania.
No offense, they were very nice and friendly, but I was so depressed that when I made it to Denver, I hopped on an airplane because I had to like recharge my battery, and then because I was filming cross country, which I still haven't released the film. Because I might do something with maybe Rachel Ray, but I can't talk about it right now.
Don't talk about it, but what are you going to do?
Take over the world, Pinky.
Well, hey.
And everything in it.
Yeah.
Chico.
I just ordered that shirt, The World Is Yours, by the way, yesterday. The Scarface shirt.
I talked my way into Al Pacino's car one time. He wasn't in the car, though, but I got into
it's a good story. You should have left it at that, bro.
I got a shout out to Jason Trevitz.
You should have left it at that.
That was his assistant at the time. And it's a long story, which I won't talk about. But I snuck into, not snuck, but like became friends with his driver and got into Al Pacino's Land Cruiser.
Really? Speaking of entourage, I have a 67 Lincoln Continental. Suicide doors.
Yeah, where is it?
At the house.
I think we need to post that up tonight.
I love that.
On YouTube. Is your house far from here?
How far are we from here? No, 15 minutes. Not far.
Can we swim?
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Nice one.
Yeah. I pull.
I haven't slept in like 3 days, bro.
Yeah, everything. Well, how long are we going? We get okay. That's it.
Well, you want me to say anything else?
I want to say whatever you want.
Well, I think we'll do another one when I come back. I like what I've seen here. I like that, you didn't give up, bro.
Ever can't.
A lot of people that start the way your life started. That's what I was talking about earlier too. When like we talk about our country and the way people. How easy is it for people to say, "Well, my mom was a fucking crackhead. I don't even know who my dad was, so I'm just gonna be a fucking loser and stay here the rest of my life."
My brother.
Okay, everyone can sit there and fucking blame the past, and yes, and no one's knocking that it's not painful shit, bro. Right? Mother's Day comes around, Father's Day comes around, stuff like that, right? That shit in your fucking face. You're in school, everyone has their dad, maybe buying them a car, and you got fucking nothing, and you don't got no one. You could have given up, bro. You could have blamed your past and stayed there and be a fucking victim the rest of your life. Or you did something which I know you fucking did, bro. You're going to tell me you didn't fuel yourself with that pain too, bro?
Oh, I still do today.
You're going to tell me that pain is not what fueled you to do? Bro, you haven't, listen to me, I've coached some really big roofing fucking companies in Northeast. The second I walked into your office, I'm like, all right, this fucking guy, he's got his shit together, bro. I'm telling you. Someone that did $130 million in timeshare sales, bro. Be honest, nothing harder to sell than that. Let's be real.
Yeah, I would never.
Okay, people need roofs. Yeah. So I know you're good. I know you're good and shit.
I wouldn't
let me tell you what I sold. Do you own a timeshare? Are you trying to get out of it? Call us today. Like, they're hearing this every 30 seconds.
I would be there for the free
They're
gift.
saying billboards. I have to pay the client to come listen to my nonsense and hold them hostage for 90 minutes to make them spend between $20,000 and $100,000.
Yeah, I'm out.
And I did it for the best. They need roofs. Right? They actually need it. So it's just you against another competitor. I'm talking about, like, they don't want to fucking see your face. They want to take their kids to Disney World. They only came there because they can't afford to be in Disney World.
Yeah.
And you're holding the fucking tickets like this. Like, you want your fucking tickets, you better come to this meeting. And their kids are like, Daddy, we want to go. Bro, you take that sales process and you teach it to your best of your best. I promise you, bro, as good as they think they are, there's just, you're going to tell me there's not always one little notch? Are you going to tell me there's not always one? Even I can say, I love when I meet salespeople. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm always listening. I'm always learning. I became friends with Brad Lee. I'm fucking, no, I learned shit from him too. Like, we learned there's something that you definitely know that I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, vice versa.
Like, how do you not learn something or a better way to say something for an objection? Or like, it's impossible to, I don't care how. Kobe would always say, I could get better.
Yeah,
it seems like it's one of your role models, right?
Yeah.
Is that a
Son's
guy that
name's
would
Kobe.
stop fucking practicing? No, like, he was who he was because he never stopped. Like, you could always get just a little bit better or say just a little bit smoother. Or sales changed my life, bro, changed yours.
100%.
It's why I am an effective public speaker. Viral, bro, you see the stats on there, bro. Video after video, just speaking. It changed my life. I wasn't always so effective as a speaker. I was like everyone else. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I got thrown out of every building in Midtown Manhattan, man. That's how I started. So I used to have to knock on doors. The first step is to build the courage.
Knocking doors will do it.
It's the courage to have to say, you know what, I'm going to learn how to do this no matter what. No matter how uncomfortable. And it was uncomfortable, brother. Because until you become successful, you don't have that confidence, you know, where you start knocking down a few sales. And then when you taste the money, now it lights the spark. But most people don't get past the first step, which is having the courage and the stamina to learn the skill set. Of course, you're going to suck at it. Go shoot a basketball the first time. No one was good. Not even Jordan. No one was good the first time they played basketball. They just weren't. I don't care who they were. But going out there and doing it, it's the same thing in your roofing. You're going to tell me you were as good as at selling roofs in the beginning when you started this company to get to $50-60 million a year in sales?
And we should get better
Yes
every
or
day.
no?
No.
In the beginning, you were
100%.
probably a little nervous and you didn't know what your competition was and you didn't know their weaknesses. And like, it took time. But you had what? You had fuel, the hurt, the anger, the trauma, everything you've been through in your life. You were channeling that instead of letting it fucking destroy you. It's like turning a gun around. When you have trauma happen to you, the gun's pointed towards you. You said, I had enough of this shit. This already destroyed my life. I'm not going to let it destroy my life no more. Fuck that. I'm going to point it towards and use it
Facts.
to propel you.
That's yep.
Right? And you went through this painful process of learning how to become a salesperson and talk. But what people don't understand is like it's bigger than just making money. Learning how to effectively communicate and speak and connect with people changes fucking lives, bro. It changed your life and everyone around you that knows you and loves you and your employees' lives. And they have, I'm pretty sure, listen, I don't work for you. I don't know what you like during the day. I'm sure you're hard on them and you need to be because you want the best from them.
Facts.
And you push them. And I bet you some of the people in the beginning that couldn't stand you as employees, now that they know you 2 years later, I'm like, yo, you changed my fucking life. Yes or no? How many times you heard it?
All the time.
From your employees.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, thanks for being hard on me.
Or
man.
the ones that left that wish they never left. Because once you leave, you're fucking dead to me.
Yeah, because you showed
Yeah.
disloyalty, man.
You're dead to me.
That's why I walked away from a job when I was making, what person walks away from $500,000 a year? But once I felt disloyalty from my leadership, I was like, fuck you, I'm out. And they never hit their numbers again till this day. Shout out, Elizabeth. So, like, cool. I was like, you're about to find out who was closing all those fucking
Fuck
deals.
around and find out.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Never saw those bonuses again. I know
Yeah.
for a fact. So, but I bet you that's part of your passion is, I know, listen, brother, once you get 10, 20, 30 million, like, let's be real. How many different things are you going to fucking buy and do?
I actually don't buy shit.
I think there comes this point where there's this passion, like, you're changing. I think you enjoy more being in that room and galvanizing these people and sending them out there and they're changing their own lives.
Yeah, I don't buy shit.
Tell me it's not one of your
really
most favorite things of what you do. Be honest.
Well,
Leading
no,
the team.
It's just it's that in the competition. That's
Leading
all
your
it is,
team.
building it.
Right?
I don't care
These
about the
people,
other shit.
it's like the wolf of wolves, but you're not doing things illegal. You're doing things the right way.
Yeah, my wife's the only one that really spends the money.
Lionheart.
Shout out to wife. Because I just couldn't care less. There's no item that I'll buy or thing that I'll do that'll take the place of being a father. So I don't fucking care about any of it. Like I care about that.
How many you
For
got?
the competition, three little
Me too.
crazy 51.5% elbows.
It's enough.
Fucking bro, too much. What do you mean enough? It's
We got
too
3 boys, girls.
two
mixed?
boys and a girl.
All right, good. Boys
And-
are older first.
Yeah.
All right, good. No one's looking at their sister, bro.
Hey, bro.
It was
no,
me,
they're
my younger
crazy.
brother, and my sister. No one ever looked at my.
No,
fucking
it's she's. They're like,
It was
oh, what are you
me,
gonna do when she
my
dates?
brother,
not
my
worried
sister.
about me.
No one ever fucking looked
that's
at her.
It's not. All right.
She's
That's
not
it.
for you, Chico.
She's not. We're gonna end it on that. Gianna is gonna be single forever. I love you, Gianna. Go check out Beck Lover. Check out his pod. Check him out on Instagram.
At
We're gonna have him back another one.
Lover NYC.
NYC. Shout out NYC. Thanks for watching. That's
And
it.
get the hatred out of your heart.
Dude, I have to go pee so bad.